They will do,
Right,
yeah.
well, let's do what's next. You know, this has been very bumpy already. What's next?
I'm just going to say that's I mean, not that.
And I'll see this. The price is so huge.
I'll come with you.
People across the country will be marking the moment. Related events have also been one day just saying farewell to the club. It's been a member for years. Somebody needs to tell that person to get their head out of the shop, don't they? Did you see that? Someone, are people walking in front of the car? Huh? Are there people getting, yes, they're in the way, yeah. Their heads are in the way of it. Thank you. Down the street, that's
You made something happen right into the gap. Do I do that? Because I can't see this one on the side of
If Alex can't hear them, if I just say something like here, I'm going to do an out and out celebration.
Yeah, I can see it. No, I just want to see it.
Okay, well,
Good. It was only a little fraction. It's fine.
I'm sorry to be coming out slippery and only trying to get to the front. I'm not so that I am, but if anyone else is in front of me, please stay in front of me.
Just edge that way a bit. It's a super. No, you're in shot. I'm saying you're in shot now. Yeah. Sorry, it's a very wide shot just to get the whole thing in.
6 minutes and 5 seconds away from leaving the European Union. A moment that so many people longed for, felt frustration that it's taken this long, but a moment that also many people feared and are extremely.
So I had a lot of reasons in 1975 for being pretty sceptical about whether our membership was a good idea. That's why I fought against it. But I was still there. I was still there when the 2016 referendum came along. And I think the arguments that I had in 1975 were still just as absent. Plus, by that time, we had a European army in prospect. We had the Eurozone, crippling the countries, especially Greece and Italy doing very poorly, Spain not doing very well, loads of unemployment. And then also we had immigration, which wasn't an issue in 1975, but certainly was when we got to 2016. So today's a great day. What we've done despite all the obstacles we had, everything the Remainers did, is we got through to live in the European Union. But my message to you is this: don't be too overconfident that we've won the war. We've won a really important battle, but there's a long way to go. Because if we're not very careful, we'll find a whole lot more people want to lock us into the single market. They'll want to lock us into the customs union. They'll want us half in and half out. And my message to you this evening is this: we're going to come out of the European Union.
If that's okay, yeah. I'll maybe to Aaron across.
If I pass it, I can see if it's in or not.
All right, thanks.
It won't be because
It is, yeah. The hooch. Johnny talking to Paul. Thanks ever so much. Thanks ever so much.
Boris? Yours?
Thank you. Thanks, Boris.
all own stores in the whole world, bidding up food. Yeah. Yeah, am I moving?
So much more personal.
Am I doing VictoryBearGuy as well? At the reprieve.
Yours?
A bit of photography myself. So I'll give you a week and I'll do the test. Okay.
Should be okay. Solve that relegation.
I think that's right, Sophie. The Prime Minister is gathering ministers and friends inside Downing Street for a private party. There's no question inside there. I think they'll be absolutely delighted at what has been, by any measure, love it or loathe it, an extreme political achievement. But they have been nervous inside government about balancing this out. They know full well how divisive this has been around the country. They know full well how strongly many people argued against Brexit at all. And of course they know full well how frustrated and upset even many members of the public became at watching the political argument and political sort of histrionics we've seen in the last few years. So I think in government there was a very definitive decision that there mustn't be any kind of gloating, there mustn't be any hubris, there weren't to be any kind of ginormous celebrations at this particular moment. But of course, this is a historic junction for the country. We don't say very often really that we are living through a moment that will genuinely change the path of what will happen in the UK for decades to come. This is one of them. And the nature of tonight's celebrations or commiserations are something that pales into insignificance compared with the scale of the change that may come in the years ahead. Thanks. Okay, so back on. Yes. What?
Oh dear, it's not a victim of the cup.
Oh. With very big thing.
Everything. I look at literally.
Yes, of course. Can you join that all at it as well? Where do you live?
Yeah. No, turn it around. I'll turn it around the other way.
Cameraman.
Was it embarrassing?
Brexit.
Right.
Can you send that?
All in focus.
So actually, you might quickly pick one on mine.
Yeah, of course.
Then I'll stay in focus. Yeah. You don't wear glasses, do you? How old are you? You've done. Can you fill it? Let's go.
As anyone that's seen my work will tell you. Oh, here we go. Obviously not happy about this one. 2020. It's a good idea, actually. That is a good idea.
Boris Johnson and his team inside other tales, counting down like the rest of us, no doubt without control, the next few months and years which we shall have the determination of the future. Even whether it goes together as the next round, Scott has voted against Brexit or
About Brexit.
and David Blevins is where? Say where he is. And if I say this is the sharp end, you know, of those talks, of those debates to come, yeah? Well, it's not, it's lost already.
When that level was short, and you could hear me going, yeah, no, that's what Boris said. But, I mean, there's someone will record it. Yeah. Well, I'm not recording it now, so I can't be asked with it, but it's recording it somewhere. Well, that's the point. It's supposed to be recording.
But you're right, that is sunset, so maybe it's just
Okay, we're live at the moment. Panic or fight? Oh no, no, back off.
In that building over there. It is not about the elites. It is not about the establishment. It is about you guys and the 17.4 million people that fly their flags and celebrate our independence and our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. What a fantastic speech. Uplifting, positive, enthusiastic. And our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, he's also fought for decades to lead the European Union. He was often a lone figure in the House of Commons. During the referendum campaign, he created and ran the group Grassroots Out. He's without question got the brightest, most garish tie in the House of Commons. Please give a massive welcome, Mr. Peterbone, MP.
Wow, what a wonderful evening. In less than an hour, we're going to leave the European Union super safe. I've been waiting 30 years for this. The establishment wanted to keep us in a costly, undemocratic and wasteful federal Europe. 2 million people from the EU came and lived and stayed in this country whether we wanted them or not. We gave the European Union more than £211 billion. And what did we get in return for it? Nothing! But tonight, we end the free movement of people. We stop paying the European Union billions and billions of pounds each and every year. We will make our own laws in our own country, judged by our own judges. Tonight, we take our country back. But can I for a moment just take you back to December 2015? At that time, the establishment said we must stay in Europe. The Labour Party said we must stay in Europe. And of course, the BBC said we must stay in Europe. Tom Pursglove, the MP for Corby, Councillor Helen Harrison and myself thought, we British people want to leave. Let's have a grassroots campaign to get us out. And that's how we formed Go. And we met a whole lot of extraordinary people during that campaign who agreed to put their political differences to one side. We had the great Kate Hoey from Labour, the superb Grand Stringer from Labour. We had the embodiment Sammy Wilson from the DUP. We had the vocal Ian Paisley. We had 50 supportive Conservative MPs, including David Davis, Liam Fox and Jacob Rees-Mogg. But we had one other person. We had the legendary Nigel Farage. And I tell you that no single person has done more for Brexit than Nigel Farage. As Tom and I and Helen toured the country, we went to England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and even Gibraltar. And when we went to the meetings, people took thousands and thousands of Go leaflets to deliver. They organised street stalls. They organised canvassing. And it's true that people like Kate, Sammy, myself, Helen, Tom, helped to deliver Brexit. And of course, Nigel. But the real people, who I'm so very grateful for and to, were the individuals who from those grassroots out meetings went out and campaigned to deliver Brexit. I believe what they did made the difference between winning and losing that referendum. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we leave the European Union. And tonight we should celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for everything that you've done. The hour is approaching, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get there, we've just got the Brexit All-Stars Band to entertain you before our final speaker, the one and only Nigel. The Brexit All-Stars. Final speaker, the one and only Nigel. The Brexit All-Stars.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. Come on, people. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone. But when I see you hanging about with anyone, it's not unusual to see me cry. One time. Hey! It's not unusual to be mad with anyone. When I see you holding power, it's such a crime. If you should ever want to be loved by anyone, it's not unusual, it happens every day. No matter what this time.
They're on our shot at the moment, ain't they? Yeah, whatever. Play with a ladder. It's a bit more interesting than that.
Because usually it's, yeah. It's alright. Yeah, but I didn't know that I was out here, so I was like, oh god. You guys can have it all night.
In just 14 minutes' time, something that I fought for 27 years, and something that many thousands of you gave your time, love, and money for. We faced an establishment that never even wanted to listen to us. An establishment that never wanted that referendum to take place. An establishment that has tried for 3.5 years to frustrate the will of the greatest democratic mandate ever seen in this country. But in 13 minutes' time, we will leave the European Union! And we did it! We did it! We've transformed the landscape of our country. And there are some that say we shouldn't celebrate tonight. Well, we are going to celebrate tonight. And we are celebrating tonight because we know that this is the single most important moment in the modern history of our great nation. That is what is happening tonight. And I think there's a lot to celebrate, don't you? The first thing to celebrate is that we will no longer have to listen to Mr. Juncker, to Mr. Guy Verhofstadt. No longer will our prime ministers be talked down to by unelected bureaucrats in Brussels. We should celebrate the fact that we are going to be able, across the road here, to make our own laws by people we can hold directly accountable in general elections. We, in 11 minutes, become a democratic, self-governing, independent, and I hope, proud nation. And we should celebrate. We should celebrate that in 10 minutes' time, we're getting there, aren't we? 3.5 years was a long time. 10 minutes doesn't sound too bad to me. We should celebrate the fact that, freed from the constraints of the European Union, we once again will be able to find our place in the world. we are able to re-engage with the Commonwealth, with America, with our friends all over the world. It will be a But there's one thing above all that we must celebrate tonight, and it's this. The only reason we're here tonight is because Westminster became utterly detached from ordinary people in this country. And those people started to speak. Those people started to rise. Those people forced a referendum. Those people forced a general election, and those people, despite all the flaws in our system, for the first time in history, the people have beaten the establishment, and that we must celebrate. The real winner tonight, the real winner tonight is democracy. Democracy has won tonight. And I, as somebody who believes that we should be pro-Europe, but not pro the European Union, I believe we've now set an example for our friends right across the continent. I want a Europe of free, sovereign, democratic nations, and we'll trade with them, we'll work with them, we'll cooperate with them, we'll have reciprocity, but we will not take orders from them. Come on, I'm shy, but thank you. So we've got a lot to celebrate and a lot to look forward to. Now, I know there are big battles to come. I know there are people here concerned what happens with fisheries. People here concerned with whether the European Court of Justice will have a say in the future. People concerned about regulatory alignment. People concerned about whether we could be betrayed again. But remember this. Remember this. What happens now in 8 minutes' time? What happens in 8 minutes' time marks the point of no return. Once we have left, we are never, ever going back. And important though the rest of it is, the rest, in a sense, becomes detail. We will be free, we will be sovereign, we will be proud, we will be independent. We've won a very great victory, and you know...
But that's only for England. Wales is March the 1st.
in jeopardy.
The European Union. Very good evening to you from Downing Street.
Yeah, I've got to go, guys. Yeah, bye. I'll talk to you in a bit.
In Parliament Square, there are crowds of Brexiteers who gathered celebrating what they celebrated yesterday, the UK's 47-year membership of the European Union.
Every other
Stuart is in Santos is in Brussels, and Siemens in Robinson is
Can't believe that.
all here to help us explore. Crucially, where the UK
0059.
I think there's a good chance he'll deliver. I think the Conservative Party learned a lesson in those European elections they never, ever want to repeat. So let us be optimistic. Let us think about the future of our great nation. Let us think about the example that we are giving to the rest of Europe and the free world as well. Let us celebrate tonight as we've never done before. You and all of us have made history, and this is the greatest moment in the modern history of our great nation. Thank you!
I'm zoning out.
Well, you've got to do 5
And you've got to do
Yeah, you're not going to do a bumper.
just go
As we count down the last
Oh, actually.
who would have thought? It's been nuts. If I get down anymore, I get that.
There's no more question about it. It's not often that we can say that feelings about genuinely will go down in the decades or hundreds of years to come. It's a junction for our country at a moment where we're on a different road. Something will unclog and unravel our political, our economic, our legal frameworks, where our country and the European institutions have become closer and closer to for nearly 50 years. And unwinding all of that is not without disruption. But this government, overwhelmingly backed with an 80-seat majority at the general election, believes that they now have the opportunity to promise that they have made, the promise that the referendum vote in 2016 held out. They want to show to people as quickly as they can that it was worth it and it was the right thing to do. But with only 30 seconds to go, that question will be hanging for quite some time, and Boris Johnson faces a huge task, not to open English champagne tonight,
36 seconds.
to show to voters that they made the right decision by putting faith in him and his belief that it was the right choice for all of us.
Unity
Cut it. Wow!
2.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the national anthem.
Gracious Queen, long live her noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been fantastic. We couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much indeed. Believe it or not, we're no longer a member of the European Union. And with that, I bid you a very good evening, a safe trip home, and a fantastic, wonderful weekend. Thank you very much.
Look towards us.